Here's a quick quiz for you, for those who claim to know what is happening in Kenya, for those who claim to know their home country, Kenya. And the question is this: what do the following Kenyans have in common? George Saitoti, Orwa Ojode, Mutula Kilonzo Snr, Joseph Nkaissery. Now let me just say, the answer is not. They are all dead. That is factual, that is true, but that is not the answer I'm looking for. I'm looking for a less obvious answer. Now, at the time of his death, Professor George Saitoti was a cabinet minister in charge of internal security, and Orwa Ojode was the assistant minister in the same ministry. Okay, they died in a supposed helicopter accident, helicopter crash. Okay, Mutula Kilonzo Snr, at the time of his death, was the senator for Makueni, senior counsel, and a famed Daniel Arap Moi lawyer for many years. Joseph Nkaissery, at the time of his death, was the cabinet CS in charge of internal security. Oops, hii internal security iko na maneno. Anyway, and he died suddenly in his home. The doctors said it was a heart attack. Okay, what do all those Kenyans have in common? Okay, I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with their deaths. Now you rack your brains over that question of mine. Okay, when we come back from the short commercial break, I will give you the answer. And not only the answer, I will also release quite a bombshell. Okay, don't go away. Welcome back. Now the correct answer is that all those Kenyans I mentioned, died through assassination. Indeed, assassinations that were made to look like accidents or natural causes. Now in my latest Club 1999 recording, what we do is that the very sensitive recordings, are only released to members of that club, okay? And it's easy to be a member. I will tell you how at the tail end of this video, Anyway, naturally this kind of information is extremely sensitive, especially the reasons why they were murdered or assassinated, okay? And that's why we have it in the private members club. But for now, we shall deal with another also sensitive issue related to that Club 1999 recording. This is not in that recording. This is something different, but it is very much related to what is covered there. And this is assassinations that are made to look like accidents or natural causes. Now, Kenyans are a very interesting lot. And one of the traits of Kenyans, which is not good, anything that Kenyans don't understand, they label conspiracy theory. Some people don't like to think. It's as if when they think, the brain feels pain. Well, I have news for you. The brain is like a muscle, or like the muscles in your body. When you don't exercise it, well, let's look at what happens to muscles. let's say you decided not to use any of your muscles, okay? And you just decided to lie down somewhere, and everything is done for you. You don't move an inch. You know what will happen after a short while? Those muscles will become inactive. Yeah, they will. They will no longer be. You will no longer be able to use your muscles. In other words, for your muscles to keep working, you have to keep on using them. And when you stretch your muscles, yeah, like you lift weights, you do exercises, you make your muscles stronger. It's the same with the brain. The more you exercise it, the more you use it, it becomes stronger. But this modern living, has really affected people. And it really discourages people from thinking. Yeah. For instance, the reading culture is gone. Yeah, more or less. People don't read books. Instead, people want everything to be summarized for them, yeah, on video, yeah, on TV, so that they just watch and listen, and they don't exercise their brains. Anyway, let me not digress too much, okay? Now, there's a very good reason to make assassinations look like accidents, yeah, or like natural causes. And we shall get that reason from somebody who should know in a book published in 1982 called Congo Cables. Now, one reaction I want to completely avoid in this video is the reaction of somebody asking, hey, Kumekucha, where did you get that? Eh? Who said that? Hii conspiracy theory. Eh? Hii ilitoka wapi? Who told you? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to quote solid sources. Okay? Solid. And very credible. Okay? Now, Congo Cables was published in 1982, and we're going to get the reason why it is a good idea, or the reason why people are very determined to make assassinations look like accidents, yeah, or natural causes. Now, in that book, the author describes a very fascinating incident that happened in 1960 at a place called Leopoldville. Okay? Now, I know you have no idea. Most of you have no idea where that is. Actually, that is Kinshasa. Yeah, today it's called Kinshasa. Yeah, Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, one day the CIA chief, yeah, station chief in Congo, yeah, in Kinshasa, yeah, let me not use Leopoldville, quite a mouthful. Yeah, the station chief in Kinshasa for CIA was told to expect a visitor. And he was not given much information. He was just told to expect a visitor. Okay? Now, the guy who arrived was a very interesting guy. And the guy came with a toolkit. Now, inside that toolkit was a high-tech poison. Okay? And the poison was designed to produce a fatal disease indigenous to the area. Now, there are many fatal diseases. Maybe today a fatal disease indigenous to the Congo would be something like Ebola. Anyway, it was not made clear what fatal disease this particular poison was supposed to produce in the person it is given to. Now, this scientist advised the CIA station chief that this poison would either be put in the food of the target, yeah, or preferably in their toothpaste. Now, it should be obvious why toothpaste was preferable. If you put poison in somebody's food, people can figure it out later. They can say, okay, let's trace the chain of events before he died. Okay, he had supper. Okay, but then when he had supper, that's when things started going south. Or things started going south shortly after he had his supper. But you put it in the toothpaste, nobody will say he brushed his teeth before he went to bed. Nobody will say that. They'll just say he went to bed. He went to the bathroom. I don't know what he was doing there. Then he came out. He went to bed. He slept. Now, the target for this poisoning was a man we all know very well, a man called Patrice Lumumba, a real patriot and a great African leader who was not allowed to lead because of international politics. Now, on to what the scientist emphasized, yeah, which answers the question I asked at the beginning. Yeah, why should assassinations be disguised? He told the CIA station chief, yeah, this guy has to die, but it is very important, yeah, that it is not traced back to the government of the United States of America. There's your answer. For most political assassinations to be effective, yeah, and to meet the objective under which they have been sanctioned and executed, it is very important that it is never traced back to the source, yeah, to actually the person or the people who ordered it and carried it out. And that applies anywhere in the world, anywhere, any corner of this planet called Earth. Now, the really, really scary thing here, which I think most of you have already gotten, is the fact that this was happening when? Not in the year 2000, not in 2017. This was happening in the year 1960. 57, 58 years ago. Yeah? Now, just think for a minute. If this was the technology available in 1960, what technology is available today in the year 2018, yeah, for killing people without it being ever traced? Yeah? Indeed, killing people so that people are even sure that they died from an accident or natural causes or from some disease. Nobody caused it. What? Now, folks, be very careful. Yeah, the next time you want to use the word conspiracy theory or the phrase conspiracy theory, be very careful before you use that phrase. Because the truth is, we live in a very dangerous world where a lot of things are hidden, deliberately so. Now, in the case of Congo, just to finish that story, Patrice Lumumba ended up being assassinated, but not via his toothpaste. Yeah, it was done the Kenyaji way. He was shot. Yeah, he was taken, kidnapped. Yeah, while still in office. Yeah, taken away to some undisclosed location. Firing squad. The body was buried, exhumed because people feared that if the body was found, there'd be a rebellion in the country. It was so popular. Yeah. Then they cut his body into small pieces, burnt it in acid so that there was no trace. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. Let's come back to Kenya. Yeah. Now, those individuals I've mentioned, in fact, one of them was assassinated in an extremely high-tech manner. Yeah. Details of which are in Club 1999. Yeah. The other was through a chopper accident that any expert on helicopters will tell you that was not an accident. Okay. And then, of course, the immediate former CS for Interior, Joseph Nkaissery, died of a heart attack. Now, of course, we know that a heart attack can be induced by many things. The technology is available. Indeed, there are even old methods of inducing a heart attack, very old, kienyeji ones, yeah, because some poisons can do just that. Now, let's take a minute to look at a few examples from around the world, yeah, to emphasize my point. Now, most of us will be familiar with the umbrella murder or the umbrella assassination, okay, which happened in the UK in 1978. There was a journalist called Georgi Markov who used to work for the BBC. Yeah, originally he was born in Bulgaria, yeah, but he defected, yeah, and settled in Britain. Now, one morning, Bwana Markov was going to work, and he was waiting for a bus a public bus, yeah, to go to work at the BBC broadcasting station. And then suddenly felt a very sharp stinging pain at the back of his leg, yeah, around the thigh area. Yeah. Looking behind, he saw a man with an umbrella, yeah, and the man vanished. And the guy forgot about it, yeah. There was a small irritation at the back of his thigh, and he didn't think much of it. He went to work and worked the whole day. In the evening, he got very sick, and he was rushed to hospital, yeah, and doctors couldn't find what was wrong with him, and he died. Wait for this one, 4 days later. Now, it was later discovered that actually what had happened, he had died from ricin poisoning. Yeah. Now, ricin is a kind of poison that doesn't have an antidote. Yeah. If you get it, well, there are ways of managing the side effects, what the symptoms, yeah. And then the whole idea is to allow the body to fight the poison till you recover. But if the quantities are too much, kaput, you're gone. And of course, the people who did this dirty work knew exactly what they were doing. So the quantities which were fired into his thigh using the umbrella, yeah, it was a pellet, yeah, and the umbrella was used like a gun. Yeah, so it fired the tiny pellet to the back of his leg, and that was it. Assassination done. Then there was a case of, again in the UK, of a man called Alexander Litvinenko, okay, a Russian defector. He met with some friends around November 1st. Yeah. He fell ill and he really suffered pain, and the doctors were very puzzled. They couldn't find out what was wrong with this guy. Yeah. And remember, this is the UK, some of the best medical specialists in the world. Yeah. They just couldn't figure out what was wrong with this guy. He finally died on November 23rd. And this Manenos had started when? November 1st. 23 days later is when he died. Now it was discovered the poison used was polonium 210. Yeah. Now polonium is something which comes out of nuclear radioactivity, but it's something that is also common in small quantities. It's not harmful. Yeah, it's not that harmful. Okay. For instance, it's in cigarettes. Okay, and this was the first recorded instance where it had actually been used as a weapon, as an assassination tool, as a poison. And then the last example is the former Venezuelan president, Hugo Chavez. Now, this man died of cancer, but surprise, surprise, the cancer was deliberately infected on him. I understand the term which people use nowadays is a nano weapon. Yeah, a nano weapon was used against him. Wow, what does this world come to? Now it seems that the Americans and the Russians are the world leaders in this business of killing people in a manner that cannot be traced back to them. But the truth is, every spy organization around the world is busy doing the same thing, developing and using high-tech, very secret methods to kill people. Now, of course, their work will be very much easy in a country like Kenya, yeah, where people are very quick to use the word conspiracy theory. Yeah, you can imagine if that Russian guy, Alexander Litvinenko, yeah, if that thing had happened in Kenya, yeah, maybe to an African, okay, what would people have said? Amerogwa. Any illness that does not have an explanation in this side of the world is witchcraft. You can imagine if the victim maybe was from Ukambani, amongst the Kamba people. People would just say, hiyo ni uchawi, that is witchcraft. Yeah? His enemies went to a witch doctor. Yeah? And then meanwhile, the guys in the local spy agency would be giving each other high fives. Well done, good job. A promotion is in order. Yeah, guys, let's start thinking very, very deeply. Yeah, and never take anything on the face value. Yeah, and I have to emphasize, before again use that word conspiracy theory, think and think again. Now, of course, the Kenyan cases are extremely fascinating, especially that chopper accident. Yeah, the way it happened and the way it was made to happen would just blow your mind away. Okay, and of course, the Mutula assassination, Mutula Kilonzo Snr. Okay. Now, to be a member of Club 1999 costs only 1999 shillings, yeah, 1,999 shillings, or $19.99, which gives you 6 months. Or if you want to pay and forget about those manenos, you pay 2,999. That gives you life membership, okay, or $29.99. Now, you can use the email address you see on your screens right now. Just send a blank email, and you'll get full payment instructions on how to make payment. Yeah, and then you can get your hands on this absolutely fascinating video. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.